Yeah, a lot of things to feel good about and a lot of things to feel disappointed about. Definitely not very encouraged by our post defense in the first half. So I'll get rid of the negatives because I got a couple excuses for them. But we weren't very sharp in there. They went at us pretty good. I thought the kid Wright played his tail off and did a nice job. I love Artist White. I mean, Rocket did a pretty good job, but it's Benny White's son, and boy, give him credit. Unbelievably nice kid. Doesn't force shots. He was impressive. I thought he had great command of the game, but I thought Lee played pretty hard, missed some shots, and the kid Freeman came in and played good. Cruz came in and played pretty good. That's a pretty good team, but we didn't play very good with our inside guys, and when we got it in there, we're shooting fallaways. We never got to the free throw line. I thought Rocket Watts played outstanding. He had 7 shots in the first half, which led us, and I thought he was so unselfish with the ball. He did a hell of a job to get Hauser involved. I thought Aaron, played pretty well. He just missed some wide open good shots, including a couple layups. And I thought Josh Langford played one of his better games. Only got 5 or 6 shots, got to get more shots. But defensively in that, he threw a couple great passes. We got back to moving the ball better. That was a big bright spot, 28 assists on 32 baskets. And I thought we had some great passes in there. And including Steven getting one at the end, although he had the turnover, so he's probably not going to eat for the next month because he knows how much that ticks me off. But we got a lot of play out of a lot of guys. The second half, Malik Hall played better, but we're not very consistent with our bigs right now, other than Joey. And I got it today, Joey had a hell of a day. Now, in saying all those things, we just played our third game in, I think, 5 or 6 days. We're going to play 4 in 8 days. 2 of them are going to be on the road against ACC teams. We did not practice at all. We had a walkthrough and a film session, This team can't do that right now. Not practicing. We're not Allen Iverson. We're not that good. And we really need to cover things. And we're still trying to, when you're playing 11 guys, 7 minutes or more, that's still a problem right now. And so I got to live with some of those problems, keep building. But practice would really help, and hopefully we'll get a decent one in tomorrow, but then we're right back on the road. After the Virginia game, it gets back to a little bit of normalcy, and I think that'll really help us. So pleased because I thought second half we played better. Pleased because it was nice to see Hauser and Rocket and even Aaron. And Marcus, when we went into him and he went to the hole, he played pretty well. Gabe Brown didn't play bad. He got some rebounds finally. So I guess there was more positives. I just didn't think we're defending as well. And first time we didn't defend as well from the 3. They shot 8%, 6% from the 3.
Our first question tonight goes to Graham Couch.
Tom, I wanted to stay with Rocket there for a minute. And he looked to me maybe as patient as he has offensively. He never looked rushed tonight. What did you see from him in that regard?
It's funny, when I listen to people outside and you kind of wonder, can Rocket play here? Can Aaron handle this? Rocket he was fun to coach right now because I see him getting so much better. I see him getting better. You talk to him about his shot, and he works on it in practice. He's just getting better and better and better. I mean, he couldn't play at the end because his legs were shot. I mean, I could have played him, but if he did, he ends up with 14 points, and he really wanted really exciting. He came up to me and said, "Coach, I think I got 6 or 7 assists. You sound like Draymond Green. Coach, you got to play me, or I'm going to kill you because I got to get 10 rebounds. And I really enjoyed that. It wasn't, Coach, I need to get 15 points. It was, Coach, I need to get some more assists. And I just thought he was just what you said. He was much under control. He's still pushing the ball. He got beat a few times, which is odd for him, but some of it was in our coverages too. And when you have a walkthrough, and that's the only thing. And, White was so good. I mean, artist that I love the way he played. So he was a load to cover. because he was so much more under control than some of the guards we played. And so I think Rocket still did a good job. Aaron did a good job when I put him on him.
All right, our next question comes from Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Tom, not taking anything away from Coach Clayton Bates and TK giving away all those secrets on the bench. At 5-0, is this the time when you worry about some winning fatigue?
Well, I never know because it's a new team. This is what I told Aaron and Foster and Josh. Captain's got to take care of this time right now. Not easy because not only winning but so many games in so short period of time, and two at our. We're going to get home at 4 a.m. this time because we play the late game. But I don't want to take anything away from Bates. I thought he did a hell of a job. They run their stuff really nice. And I probably will never hire TK because he gave them all of our secrets. But then again, I love TK, and I told our team, he's going to know our stuff as good or better than we know it. And he did a good job, man. I tell you, don't take anything away from them. I mean, I was disappointed in some things, but they did a nice job. So I don't think I'm worried about it, Lindsey. I'm really not, because it's not like we're cocky or arrogant. We haven't played good enough. But as you know, psychologically, I'm still battling the, how these kids are mentally. I'm still trying to help them through that. They're going to be a little fatigued, and tomorrow we got to have a decent practice. It might be short, but we got to get through some things, both in the post and maybe on those ball screens, and we'll get better at that. So worried about it? I'm not worried about it, but I'm concerned because I think we got to get better and better quickly, because Virginia's going to run that circles, that offense, and I mean, we played them enough times, and you rest on that, you're in trouble. And they got a lot better shooters than they had last year. So we'll have our work cut out.
Great. Thank you.
We'll go out to Chris Solari.
I know it was a real minor thing with Aaron, but from a leadership standpoint, I guess what kind of message does that send to him? That you mentioned, especially this stretch in particular, that those captains kind of need to lead from the front. Is that just kind of an evolution for Aaron right now?
Well, let me tell you, and like I said, I'm an open book on most of my stuff. And so what happened was he was right on time for one, but these guys, they get tested, then they have to have breakfast, and we're constantly switching the times, because on days when another team's testing, we change the times and this and that. Now, he knew what time. He was probably 3-4 minutes late. The one other time he was right on time. And I just said, I told him the time he was on time, if it happens again, because we feel like, the good old days, your culture was so, rock solid. And I'm saying this tongue in cheek, and I'm saying it as serious as I can. People are so ridiculous out there right now that, you try to discipline somebody for something. So all I'm trying to do, when I told him Cleve sat for half the game, I said, see that banner up there? That guy's my best player maybe that ever played for me. And, he made a mistake, and missed some classes or something. And so, I mean, you got to get back to that. There has to be some discipline and accountability. And our society has zero. And our programs don't allow to have as many because people fear that everybody will transfer if you tell them something. And I love the way Aaron handled it. You know what? He walked into me, and I said, hey, Aaron, sorry, can't be in the meeting now. You're late. And he waited for me, came into my office. I already know. You're right. Do I think it's a good thing? No, because he's been my best player, my most improved player. He's been the funnest to coach. And maybe that sends a message, but I ain't into sending messages. I'm too far in my career to send messages. I'm just trying to keep a culture that I think has been so good. And there's been better players than Aaron Henry or Rocket Watts that have gone through stuff. And those guys ended up pretty damn good. And so I'm trying to recapture, let's not let the little things get away, because this day and age, nobody cares about the little things except maybe me. And, when you talk to him, I hope they bring him up. When I say it was zero, it was zero. When I say he handled it well, he handled it well. When I say, was I trying to make a point? No, I really wasn't. I'd already warned him. It was just the deal. And yet understand this, these kids are going through. I mean, you know, I laugh when I talk to Lindsay because he kind of knows these kids have gone through something that's, I mean, I'm changing stuff every day, you know, because I'm trying to say, okay, got to be in by 8:30 now because we got classes. So you got to test before at 7:30. Then if I get a weekend and I say, okay, let's go till 10 o'clock. Well, we can't do that because the other team's got a test. And I mean, it's a circus. And yet our people have been awesome. And those nurses are phenomenal. And, but, you know, we send out group texts, you know, and you and I know it's a choice whether those players look at them because that phone, they sleep with it, they eat with it. I think they play basketball with it. I think they all got little things in their pockets that they keep. So there just has to be no excuses. And I'm not even worried about it this much. So I went a long time to talk about it because I know how it gets, the social media. Somebody does this. Aaron Henry's been my favorite guy this year, and he will remain that way.
We'll go to Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Tom, I wanted to ask you about Joey. He just talked to us a little bit about some conversations about maybe his form or something, or stuff you guys had pointed out. Just what's it like to see him shoot that way, and was there any conversations about what he could do to improve that?
Yeah, I brought him into my office a couple of times. He's been a little hurt with the knee, you know, but, you know, when you're a new guy on the block, that was what's so impressive tonight. Here's Aaron Henry, not having a great game, but it's his kind of year, his team. He's yelling, run this for Joey, run this for Joey. I mean, Rocket Watts. I mean, that impressed me because that tells me that they know Joey's not only a good player, but he's unselfish. He gave Rock a hell of a pass for a 3. You know, Joey had 5 or 6 assists, or 4 or 5. So I'm really pleased for him because he's trying to fit in. And trying to fit in is not easy, you know, when you come with a team that's got some players back in that. And I think he's done a good job of fitting in. But I really give the Gabes and Rockets and definitely Aaron and Frosty and all those guys a lot of credit because they really wanted to go to him tonight, and it was fun to watch. And you know, he shot it well. Am I surprised? No, he's that kind of shooter. He hasn't shot it well this year, just like Aaron Henry's going to have his moments. But yeah, we had a couple meetings just to say, hey, loosen up. You know, he's an intense kid that sometimes lets those things bother him like all shooters do. You know, shooters are like pitchers. They're like goalies. They're like field goal kickers. You know, they're all kind of, you know, they get all caught up in things if they go wrong. And I think this was a good lesson for him. I told him today, I was on him hard the last game, and I did it on purpose. I just want to see how he'd handle it. And, man, handled it good and even had a sore knee today. And I thought played his tail off. And it really impressed me in the second half because he wasn't very good defensively first half either. He was really good second half.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Jana at the State News.
Hi, Tom. We've talked a lot about the depth of this roster and how different guys can come in clutch in different games. How important is that, especially with games that have quick turnarounds like this one?
Well, it's not only the quick turnarounds, but you're right on the money. That really helps in that. But it's also going to help when, unfortunately, you know, something happens and one of our guys get the virus, you know. And so I'm trying to prepare for both. And yet the depth is good. I told you, because we don't have enough guys that have raised above it, but we got a lot of guys that are very good players. And, you know, you're going to see more out of A.J. Hogert. You know, you're going to see more out of Julius Marble. I like it. If I can get Markey going a little bit, a little stronger down there, I love my depth. And, you know, it's another game when our bench scoring, we must be averaging 25 to 28 points off the bench. And when those assists, that tells you that we're sharing the ball. The only negative stat for me is very seldom we get beat on second chance points and we got killed, you know, 15-8 or something. There's 6. So I think our depth is one of the things that really is going to make us good. And hopefully really good as time goes on. If we can figure out, it's a little more stressful on me having to, Dwayne Stevens, we're kind of trying to manage the minutes, a little more stressful, but I think it's going to pay great dividends in the end.
Thanks.
All right. We have 2 final questions. We'll start with Kyle and wrap up with going back to Graham.
I mean, you've had a couple guys in recent years that can really shoot it from that 4 spot like Joey. You're just wondering what that does for your offense when you get in that kind of long-range shooting from the 4 spot.
Well, you said a couple, and maybe it is a couple. Jaron was pretty good at it, and then you go back to A.J. Granger. I mean, we haven't had many that can shoot it like Joey at 6'9". But what I think is going to be impressive about Joey as it goes, because they're going to start running at him, he's a very, very good passer. So we're going to be able to play through him a little bit more, and that's going to be really beneficial to us because he's a very unselfish kid, almost to a fault. I thought he passed up a couple of shots. I thought Aaron passed up a couple of shots. I thought Rocket passed up 1 shot. He's getting better. I mean, he was so good tonight as far as what he was saying and what he was thinking that not happy with the game the way it went, but I'm really happy with some of the players because I think they're making steps. It's going to make us a better team. And Joey's one of those guys that I'm expecting those kind of nights from him, to be very honest, because he was efficient, 14 shots, 24 points, 10 rebounds. I'd like to see a few more offensive rebounds from him and Aaron, and we'll get there as we get a rotation down so guys can feel comfortable where they are.
All right.
Tom,
Go ahead, Graham.
Obviously, Titus Wright is a load down there for Western Michigan, and so that's a tough matchup for anybody. And what do you want to see from Marcus Bingham in a matchup like that?
Right now, either you're stuttering or I'm
Okay.
not picking it up because it's a what. So you got to shake your computer if you can hear me. I think what you were asking me though is Titus Wright was a load. What can you do better? What do we double the post? I mean, he's a load until you figure out that Purdue's got a 7'4" guy. He's got arms like a octopus. Iowa's got a 7-footer. Wisconsin's got a 6'11" guy. Illinois' got a 7'1" guy that's, right now that's a weakness for us. We don't have great size. That's why Marty getting him in there some was important. But that's where our guys got to get better at fronting and doing some things that we haven't had a chance, Graham, to work on as much because of the lack of practice time. So I told DJ we're going to have 6:30 practices just for the bigs, and I'm half kidding and half serious. We need more practice time. We were not able to do anything very physical, nothing in the summer, very little in the fall. And I think it reared its ugly head tonight.
What do you want to see from Marcus in that particular matchup, and with a guy who's physical and a little lower than him like that?
Well, I didn't want him to get the ball in where he got it. Markey let him get the ball in so deep. That's what upset DJ. And normally he's blocking some shots, and that guy was good, man. He had that little jump hook. He used his body, had the wide body, Don't underestimate. In him and White, those 2 guys could play a lot of places. Some of the other guys, I didn't think Lee played as good as he's been playing, watching him. But we let the ball go in too deep. I didn't think we had quite enough pressure on the ball. I thought they ran their stuff really well and went in on us on purpose. And then we're going to have to look to dig down from our guards a little bit more because I think he's had like 2 assists in a year. So he doesn't give it up much. But we just didn't have time to go over all that stuff. We had a walkthrough yesterday. That was it. So normally a better, we had 2 things in a row here. We played Detroit. They hadn't played a game with all those new people. And we had no idea what they were going to run. And then we played these guys. They played 1 game of their 4 because they had 3 canceled. And that is difficult for us, who's more of a prep team, I think my assistants do an unbelievable job. I think we're really good at preparation. But if you don't have time for preparation or you don't have film to watch, I almost feel guilty. My wife said, "What are you doing home?" I got nothing to watch. You know, I'm watching high school AU games to figure out on some of the guys, or I'm watching one that were transferred from somewhere. And I didn't get to watch much of their actual offense other than against Butler. So that makes it a little more difficult. And in fairness to the players, it wasn't like we didn't do our job, meaning the coaches, but there wasn't much time or much job you could do when your sample size is one game and they've got 4 or 5 games on you. Makes it difficult.
All right, Coach, that's all the
Got to
questions.
get better at it, Graham. That's for sure. And we'll look at Dublin. We'll look at fronting a little more. We'll look at digging down with our guards. We've got a lot in our arsenal. We just got to get it out there. And so I'd like to say this in closing, if it's okay. You know, I got to sneak over to the football game for a minute, and you know, we got to hang in there with Mel because he's been through I think of my situation, he's been tough. But I also want to thank all the people out there. You know, the cardboard cutouts and the number of them, and, you know, it's starting to fill our arena. I'm hoping that we get some from football too. And we've got one of the nicer arenas right now as far as you look around the country. And I think you got to give credit to our marketing people, but you got to give credit to our fans who have bought these cutouts and make them look a little better. I think we should pay a little more for the cutouts and motorize them so they can yell at those officials. That's the only thing they're not doing a very good job of, you know. But other than that, it's been amazing, the support we've gotten in a different way. So I just want to thank all the people. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to find a way to fill up that bottom. We got a couple of ideas. I'm going to do some things for some of the former people that I've had. By next week, we should have that in, and we're going to have some fun with it at the same time. But thank you to all the people out there who have really helped us or helped football in this incredibly crazy time. I greatly appreciate it. So do our players. And I'll look forward to seeing you. Well, I guess I won't see you at Virginia, but I'll look forward to talking to you after. We're going to have to play better than we did, but it'll be another good game for us because, you know, in Notre Dame, it was a team that could really shoot and played a lot of zone. In Duke, it was a team that really came after you defensively. And I think Virginia is a little bit of both. Yeah, they got upset, but they're usually solid defensively, and they run a very tough offense to guard. And they've got a lot more shooters this year, including Sam Hauser, who's a damn good player. But they've got more shooters this year. Last year, they shot the ball terribly, to be very blunt about it. But this year, and Tony's a hell of a coach. So this is going to be good for us. I just got to figure out how we practice and save some energy. And that'll be my job, playing that late game. But appreciate all of you. Appreciate you guys for doing this Zoom stuff. It's not the same as having us there. And hopefully our players will give you everything they can give you. And thank you. Thank you to our fans for what they've done. Appreciate it.